I'm here with my friend Caspar.
Wait, hold on. You're trying to make me look short. Let me stick my seat up. All right, how you doing, my friend? If we're gonna be realistic about
All right, okay. I'm here with my really tall friend Caspar.
Thank you.
He is taller than me. All right, we're sitting on bikes, but
Yeah.
I want to acknowledge that.
it. Am I taller than you?
I don't know.
No, I actually
6'1",
haven't checked.
6'1",
I'm about the
6'1",
same.
yeah.
I look ridiculous.
Caspar is the only person I know who has both been an influencer and creator, gone on to start his own multi-million-pound startup, and now runs a VC fund with tens of millions in assets under management. The trifecta, all three, it's extremely rare. What's the secret to your productivity?
Ooh, the secret. I mean, I don't have this complicated productivity tool set or anything like that. I ultimately just, every time I have an idea or thought about anything, I have to write it down on a simple notes app on my phone. And then whenever I have a different problem with my productivity, they hate it.
There we go.
Like every single time you have a thought or need to do something, write it down, get it out of your head. Because if you just rely on my ADD brain, you're gonna get nowhere in life. So yeah, I think the fact that I have grown up not being able to concentrate very well, not being super diligent about my homework, I've found out ways to get around that. And so just writing everything down and doing it when I can, that seems to work.
Yeah, I think the best, some of the most productive people I know recognize the secret of life is that we don't have much time, right? And they make the most of every minute of their day. And I see that with some of your daily habits. For example, how you get around London. I, similar to you, I'm never on a tube, I'm never waiting for a late train, I'm never stuck in a taxi in traffic. What's your secret?
A Lime bike. So getting on a Lime bike not only helps me save time when I'm like cycling around instead of being stuck on a delayed train or in a bunch of traffic, but I also don't get ill because of it, I think, at least. I've had, since I started liming, by the way, this is not a sponsorship for Lime, just in case anyone's asking. I have no affiliation with them, but...
Not yet.
Not yet, I'd love you guys to contact me, but I just find like, I feel slightly healthier not being stuck in a crowded space. And yeah, it gets me around great. Obviously going into winter makes it a bit more difficult, but I just add a few layers.
Yeah, you stick it out in the rain?
Yeah, it's quite cool sometimes being so layered up that you can only see the eyes. I look like I'm gonna steal your phone, but I'm not, I promise.
There we go. So yeah, if you're walking down Oxford Street, see Caspar coming towards you on a bike, you can put your phone away. So aside from Lime bikes, what's the secret to your sort of daily productivity? What's your daily routine look like? Is it like an Ashley Hall getting up at 4 a.m, face in a bucket of ice, manservants around you, dressing you, getting you ready for the day? What does Caspar Lee's daily routine look like?
I am not like that. I'm fairly slow in the mornings. I'm trying my best not to jump on my phone first thing and give myself a little bit of time to wake up. But I am more of a morning person than an evening person. I don't wake up at 4 a.m. I do my best to exercise in the morning when I have time. I'm always just trying to use every time I have to like get onto something, because I have that list I spoke about earlier. There's always something to do.
Yep.
Even if there's not something in the schedule, I'm going to be like, okay, I've got a free 2 hours. I'm going to get through my list as quickly as possible. But there's no kind of like, this is how I have to live my life every single day. And even when it comes to things like alcohol, now I don't drink much because I think it makes you unproductive. But that doesn't mean I'm like, no drinking whatsoever. Everything for me is kind of moderation, because if I go too far one extreme, I just know I'm going to give up eventually. Like gym, like if I say I have to go 5 days a week, I'm not going to be able to do it. Whereas if I go, yeah, you can go 3 or 4, I'm fine. I can get through it.
So yeah, a balanced daily routine.
100%
no
balance.
extremes.
No extremes. I mean, but I will say there's times where you have to go extreme for a period. Like you talk about your sprint you do at your companies. I think that's amazing. The
surge.
I think it's like some people ask like, what is work-life balance for a starter? I'm like, at the very early stages, there's not much. But like, if you're going to do it for 20 years, you've got to figure that out, because what's the point of living your whole entire life like that? You need to do it depending on what is needed at the moment. So yeah, it changes, and that's why like one word, quick answers don't always work for these sorts of things. They're very nuanced.
There we go. Yeah. Talk us through that first big payday you had, right, as a creator.
Yeah,
Probably back in your creator days, like, what did that feel like?
I mean, the first big payday was a very small payday today, because for me it was the first time I actually had money of my own that I wasn't given by my parents as like for tuck shop or something. So I basically got paid like probably £100 by YouTube, and for me that was the first big payday. In terms of a realistically big payday, it never really happened like that. As a YouTuber, I always kind of worked my way up. So every month it just got slightly bigger. So it was like kind of stepping stones. So I never was like one day, oh my God, I can't believe it. I think I've always had that relationship with money where I'm like, yeah, okay, it's getting better and better. But at the same time, I come from a family that, you know, their parents had some money, but that didn't necessarily mean that, you know, everyone managed it correctly and it was always easy. And so I see money as something that can come and go, and you got to be very careful about, you know, how you manage it. And even if you make a lot of money for a year or two, like how are you going to sustain that for a long period? And I think that's why I followed the career I followed. I have had like some, you know, moments where you get an incredible phone call where like a client has just signed on to a multi-year deal and you're like, that's going to be so great. Or you know, we've heard some great news from a startup. And so yeah, you definitely have those moments. But I don't feel like they last that long. And then like the next day you're thinking about like, what else can we do? And so I've kind of tried to figure out ways to be satisfied and happy and get that, you know, that feeling from other things. And to be honest, that comes from my wife, that comes from like spending time with my family, that comes from hanging out with friends, winning a poker hand. Just smaller
Did you win
stuff.
any poker hands?
No, last time we played it in. But you sold a company, like, and made a massive amount of money in one go. Did you have that feeling, or did it take so long to close that you kind of, it's more just like relief?
Yeah, relief is definitely the word. Yeah, look, I think also there's some, you know, people will find it hard to probably identify with this, but there is some feeling of you're letting your baby go, right? And at the end of the day, it's bittersweet. Okay, great. You've just made your team a load of money, you've made your investors a lot of money, it's changed your life, but you're also letting go of something you've built, right? So it can be bittersweet that way, but yeah, for me, you know, the whole way through that year-long process, from the moment we got the offer to the moment the money hit the account, my main focus was, let's get this done, let's bring this home for everyone, right? And so yeah, when the money hit the account, there wasn't this sort of jubilation, it was like, phew.
Yeah, that's the thing with every deal, it feels like because you think they're gonna happen, then they might not happen, and then they eventually happen, and then there's so much like issues that come along with it that when it finally does happen, it's almost just like, oh, thank gosh.
Yeah.
And so it's not, you're right, it's not like winning the lottery where you get it all at once and you're like, that's confirmed.
Okay, so now you're an investor as well with Creative Ventures. What are the things that you're looking to invest in at the moment, right? You've just raised a new fund. What are the industries of the future that you're excited about right now?
Well, we invest in consumer internet businesses. Like a lot of industries, AI is changing the game, and especially in consumer, there's so many companies that have existed for, you know, a long time that can be disrupted. Yeah, for example, language learning, AI is having an incredible disruption there. We've invested in a company called Practica, which does incredible things here. We've invested in a company called Beehive, which helps creators own their audiences better using newsletters, and now they're doing website building. So yeah, it really kind of varies, but obviously founders are extremely important. The traction that we can see in consumer, you get a bit of a chance to see some traction sometimes, which is exciting. Obviously AI and the crazy rounds going on right now it's harder to get the time to see things. Yeah, there's so many variables, and like every time we look at a deal, we don't have like a set, like we have to see this, and this, because if you look for absolutely everything, and especially pre-seed, you're not going to get it all. Like if it's all perfect, you're not going to be able to invest at pre-seed. It's just not a thing, right? So we have to be able to be flexible there. And I get to work with my partner, Sasha Koletsky, who's an incredible investor, and we're cousins as well. So we just get to decide basically deal by deal if it's a good one or not.
Are there any challenges working with a family member?
No, I don't think so. I think it depends on the family member, and Sasha is just really good at what he does, and we have a great dynamic. I think actually having someone as a family member almost helps to build even further trust, because, you know, our families know each other. We are the same family, and so I think that does add an extra layer of protection in terms of like a partnership, and it's quite
an
cool.
incentive to make it work.
Definitely, you have to push through and make things work. But yeah, there's not even been a a day that's gone by where we haven't felt great about working together. So it's awesome.
Nice. Okay, final question actually.
Yeah.
Why line bikes rather than get your own bike?
Because I don't like getting my bike stolen, and I've had a bike before and it got stolen, and so I'm just like. Also, sometimes I go somewhere and then on the way back maybe I can jump in a taxi because it's like 10 p.m. right?
It's much more flexible.
Yeah, exactly. Flexibility. There we go.
There we go.
I like that.
All right, nice.